Hariom friends, welcome to the 14th part of the Introduction to Vijayanagara Empire series. In this part, we'll be looking at a very exciting and suspenseful topic. Did Khusrau Khan reconvert to Hinduism, or was he pretending to do so? So we'll take a look at what the contemporary eyewitnesses said about Khusrau Khan, and we'll also have a look at Professor K.S. Lal's analysis of the situation, and finally I'll give you some of my pointers. But before we go there, I have got an important announcement to make, and that is about the result of my new book, which is a historical fiction novel set in 7th century Afghanistan. So I'll just take a few minutes of your time and I will show you the physical copy of the book, which has just come off the press. So it's pretty hot, as they say. And I'll be making a separate video where I kind of go through the book and kind of an unboxing thing. So let's have a look at that. So this is the book, folks. It's titled Blood on the Dunes and is the first part of a 3-part trilogy. You can buy it on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, and it's available in ebook and print formats. I will link it in the description box. You can read the first few chapters in the Amazon preview for free. Please do go and have a look. If you like it, do buy it and share the link with others. Before we return to the video, here's a look at the spine. This is the first part of the series, and here's a look at the back. So you can have a detailed look at the back matter on the Amazon preview. And that's my advert for the day, and let's get back to the video. Thanks for your patience, friends. So coming back to the topic of the video. So there's an enduring mystery, and one that gets quite a few Hindus in a kind of what if scenario. Like, what if Prithviraj Chauhan had finished off Ghori after the first battle of Tarain? Or what if the Marathas had crushed the Afghans at Panipat, etc., etc. So a lot of what if scenarios. And this what if scenario for the current video is based on the premise that Khusrau had done a Ghar Vapsi, or he had reconverted back to the Hindu fold. But was this really the case? So we'll look at the evidence, and we'll also look at the arguments against it. Now Khusrau, as we saw in the last video, was from the Bharwad community, and whom even jihadi Amir Khusrau has praised as being a very brave and courageous people, and he describes the Bharwads as being bodyguards of the Hindu Maharajas and Rajas, and even the Hindu and Indian hating Maulana Ziauddin Barani, who was a historian, calls them as fearless. Okay, so they were very brave people, and Khusrau and his brother both were very brave. Now Barani is the only source who says that Khusrau Khan reverted to Hinduism. So what are the points he makes in favor of this argument? So let's go to them one by one. First point is Khusrau started worshipping murtis inside the palace once he was the Sultan. Second point is he and his relations abducted and married Muslim girls. So remember all of these. Third point was Quran was torn and placed under the murtis in the palace. Fourth point, money was freely distributed to Hindus. So he opened the treasury and he gave them, very generous donations, and basically he let them take what they wanted, especially his Bharwad relations. Now Ibn Battuta, another jihadi, but like I said, he was pretty honest in recording what he saw and what he did. He says that Khusrau Khan banned cow slaughter as it was sacred to the Hindus. So this is the only point Ibn Battuta makes against Khusrau. Otherwise, he praises Khusrau a lot, saying he was a very courageous and very brave person. Moving on to the next slide, we'll see Professor Lal's view. So give me a minute and we'll transition to the next slide. So what does Professor Lal say? Professor Lal is of the view that Khusrau did not reconvert, and he counters with the following argument. So what he says is, the first argument, majority of Bharwads were Hindus. See, at that time, around 98-99% of the population in India was Hindu, pretty much. So Muslims were less than 1%. But that 1% was fully militarized. So Bharwads were Hindus, and it is natural they would extract revenge for what Muslims did to Hindu women, temples and sacred texts. It's not kind of a secret that when Muslims attack Hindus, they first rape and abduct Hindu women. This has been going on since the first Islamic invasions in India, and it even goes on today. Second point Professor Lal makes is Khusrau was converted when he was a kid, and even his brother Hisamuddin and other close relations had converted to Islam. He had been brought up in an Islamic environment since he was very young. So it's not possible that he would suddenly change his mind and go back to Hinduism. Third, he behaved like any Muslim plunderer when attacking the Hindu kingdoms of South India. So he engaged in looting, whatever treasure he could lay his hands on, especially on his southern raids. Now Barani himself says, now remember Barani was Hindu and a Khusro hater, and he hated all Indian converts to Islam. So he says that as long as Khusro ruled, the khutbah was read in mosques and he had the title of Amirul Mominin on his coins, so which means kind of the defender of Islam. Another argument in favor of Khusro remaining a Muslim is that the majority of Muslims and nobles from the previous administration were left undisturbed. So if they were given jagirs of some places in Uttar Pradesh or somewhere else, they were left in their positions, so their power and prestige was not disturbed. So they were not abruptly shaken off, massacred, or kicked off their comfortable couches. Last point was the army of Delhi was majority Muslim, and they wouldn't have supported a Hindu ruler. So these are the arguments Professor Lal makes, and I would agree with most of them, but I have got another viewpoint as well. So what is my personal opinion? My personal opinion is that Khusro did not return to Hinduism, but he also did not interfere with what his Bharwad relations were doing in Delhi. So you have to remember, he was born a Hindu and had converted to Islam, or was converted to Islam very early on because he was a slave. That means he would have some kind of a soft spot towards Hindus and Hinduism in general, as shown by his ban on cow slaughter. Like most first generation converts, he needed validation from Turkish, Persian, Arab Muslims as well, because like I said, Islam is a very racist religion, and this explains his trying to keep them happy, not disturbing their official posts and grants and jagirs and so on. So he was kind of the typical first generation convert, one leg in one boat and one leg in another boat. But I think another problem was, if he had kind of openly come out as well, we have no idea what his Hindu support base was, because you need Hindu Rajas to support him, because you need soldiers to fight in case of further invasions from the north and from outside India. So I think he didn't reconvert, but he definitely had some kind of a soft spot. So in the next episode, we will look at the end of the brave Sultan Nasiruddin Khusrau Khan, and we will also look at the rise of the Tughlaq dynasty. So if you have liked this video, friends, please do remember to share, like and subscribe. And I will post the link to my book as well, which is available in ebook and paperback forms all over the world through Amazon, Ingram Spark, or any other platform. In India right now, it's only available in the ebook form because I'm still trying to arrange for some kind of a print on demand solution there. Please do go and have a look. On Amazon, you can read free snippets of the book. I believe you've got a couple of chapters which you can read for free in Amazon book preview. So please do go and have a look. If you like it, please do support me by buying it. Otherwise, share it with somebody who might be interested. Thank you, friends. I will see you in the next video. Hari Om.